You are live here on Checkered Flag Interactive. It is time to go road course racing once again here in the Upper Edge Racing CMC Sportsman Series. Now we're up across the border. We're in Canada here today at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and it's looking to be a great race. We've got some manual cautions coming up. A custom painted pace car Corvette will be pacing this field here today. So as the field wrap up the last little bit of open qualifying here, these drivers just getting set and ready for an interesting day out at this race course. Left-hand turns, yes, there's some, but we've got plenty of right-hand corners and a couple long straightaways on this road course. So it's going to be an exciting day out here. In just a few moments, we'll get things started and get things previewed before the race. Do not go away. Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty will be up in the booth to bring it to you. And now we're here live at the track once again with just a few more minutes left in open qualifying here. These drivers getting their time set up on the board. Really quick, it's time to talk about what a big week it's been here on Checkered Flag Interactive. We've got 6 broadcasts throughout the week that have been broadcast. We're already through 4 of them, and currently this will actually be the 4th, and we've got 2 more coming. Actually, I do believe 3 more coming this weekend, so it's been a huge week here on Checkered Flag Interactive, and it's been a great start to 2015. If you want your league races broadcasted, check out Checkered Flag Interactive on Facebook. Just look up Checkered Flag Interactive, leave a wall post, send us a message, and there you go. And while we've got a second here, while open qualifying wraps up, it's time to catch up with our in-race reporter, driver of the number 33, Corey Hoover. Corey, it's Steve up in the booth. Looking like you got a pretty good time set up here in qualifying. How you feeling for this race?
I'm pretty good. It's always been a favorite track of mine, especially love road courses. I feel like I can gain some points on the points leaders this race, hopefully, if everything goes right. You never know, though. Got the field looking pretty strong, actually. Everyone's running competitive times. I'm feeling pretty good.
We've talked to quite a few drivers coming up to this week. With that 2 week break here, were you able to practice during those 2 weeks off? And what do you think some of the drivers might have been doing to really get better here? And what is the key to this road course here? I mean, it's pretty challenging. It's got some very tight corners, and let me tell you, I know from experience you can find yourself in trouble pretty quickly here with some of the corners, and the banking on the sides of the curbs can definitely really upset your car. What are some of the big challenges here at this track?
Yeah, over the break, we certainly got our practice in for sure. Extra practice. Always like having a break, but always good to get back to it. Yeah, it's a really challenging track. It's a high-speed course, but it's got its tight turns here and there. As you mentioned, the curbs. Some people say they don't hit them because it upsets their car. Me personally, I like hitting them. It's faster through the corner. You just got to take care of your brakes and take care of your tires, not spinning the tires coming off the corner. That's really the big key.
Now here also we talked to some of the drivers coming up to this race, and they also mentioned some of the big names up in the field that are looking for a good solid night here. And Andy Glazik in the number 19, he's always pretty competitive, always towards the top 5 on the ovals, but here a lot of drivers were talking about he's definitely somebody to be watching out for here. What are your thoughts on your teammate Andy Glazik going into this event? Do you think he's going to be up there challenging you throughout the event?
Oh, for sure. All 3 of my teammates, Andy, Austin, and Ryan, they really surprised me with how fast they are consistently. Andy's a underrated road course racer, actually runs a lot of road series on iRacing. Same with Austin. Austin swept both truck series events last year, so it's going to be a good race, and I look forward to racing with him.
Alright, good stuff. Well, drivers are about to head down onto the grid. We wish you luck, and good luck going into turn 1, because I've got a feeling with these manual cautions it's going to be an interesting race, but good luck.
Alright, thanks guys, enjoy it.
That was the voice of your pole sitter there, the driver of the number 33 from RCA Racing, Corey Hoover. Pulling up on your screen currently, that is the qualifying results. We've got Corey Hoover getting the pole, as we said, Andy Glazik second, Austin Hartfeld starting third, Mario Gerard, good qualifying effort for him there, getting a top 5 starting spot there, Justin Munseel getting up in 5th, Ryan Dyson 6th, Mark Murphy 7th, Andrew Fayosh a little bit further back than he's used to, starting in 8th, Elaine Krasinski making an appearance in the top 10 here, he will be starting 9th, Bradley Burke starting 10th. Mark Rapolo starting right outside the top 10 there in 11th spot. Dalton Alexander 12th. Trevor Rapolo 13th. Stuart Lebosco starting in 14th. Joseph ties there in 15th with Bruce Ackerman 16th. Michael Finlayson there in 17th. Chris Scala 18th. Tom Bourne in 19th. And then Mike Tellier there, he will be starting in 20th. A couple more drivers behind him. You've got Rally Grant Davis, Corey Blevlins, and Chris Scala. And now here, as the pace car is down on the grid along with the drivers here, it's almost time to get this race underway. These guys will not be making a full pace lap. They start on one of the final stretches there going into that final chicane. So these drivers don't have a very long pace lap, which is almost a good thing here. Not a lot of time to think about what could go wrong, what could go right. And now really quick, I'm going to turn it over to Shane Doherty and share your thoughts really quick here before we drop down on the grid for the green flag. What do you think this race is going to entail?
It's going to be an interesting race. Like you said, not a track we go to very often. It's one of those tracks that is on the schedule. If it is on the schedule, it's once a year. So enjoy it, I guess, while it is for tonight. But like you said, Steve, going into turn number 1 and the early part of the course is going to be so challenging, especially with these cars. There's so many of them, and for someone to screw up and have a chance for a big wreck early on could be very unfortunate and very realistic at the same time.
Well, we've got a chance. Take a look there. That pace car behind the field is the second pace car that will be running here tonight. Brad Pummel is driving that one. Custom pace car here for custom cautions when things go wrong. They unfortunately cannot call cautions here, but they painted up a pace car and they got a pace car driver down here. Multiple race officials. So in the case that the track does get blocked, we have a system in place for that. So watch for full course cautions to come into play, something you don't usually see at road courses here. But now as the field is rolling off, things are about to get going here. These drivers heading down in the final parts of the pace lap. The pace car lights, of course, they are off. We will only see that Ford Mustang pace car here once here tonight. So these drivers, as they head down on the front straight away, they've got their gloves, they've got their helmets on tight, going up over those bumpy curves. You will see them do it at full pace in just a moment here. But the green flag is up into the air, and the green flag is officially out. We are racing here for the Upper Edge Media 200. Looking pretty clean towards the front right now. Corey Hoover dives it down. No worries for him. Single file in his respect there. Austin Hartfell's getting a slight tap from the number 27 Mario. Just a slight tap there. No harm, no foul. Now they're going to dive down into these corners where it's going to be essential to get those cars woed up quickly. There's only about one racing line through here. The top 4 are now single file. Looking back, most of the field also getting single file. Not too much trouble here, aside from Austin Hartenfels, who found himself almost getting knocked off the track there, but he is A-OK. He's actually going to retain that position here as they dive it down one of the shorter straightaways at this track. Quite a few battles still going on the first lap here. And right now, the number 2 of Bradley Burke making up a couple positions, going around Elaine Krasinski there. Dallin Alexander tried to follow through on that chicane there, was not able to do that there. You see the cars going back. This track is definitely one of the more rural areas up in Canada, and this is the tightest corner of the track, I would like to say. It's the tight hair-bent corner there, and they got to go up this long straightaway where even the draft will come into effect at times there, Shane, as these drivers complete the first lap. It's looking like a very clean start to the race.
Yeah, I guess especially this key with this track is just to set your pace. It is a road course, so you don't want to beat yourself by going off track and kind of losing all the spots that you might have gained early on. Just take it easy for now, set your pace, see what you can do compared to everybody else, and kind of log some laps from here. It's obviously going to be a longer race than usual, so hopefully these guys can just settle in and have fun at this track, really.
Mario Girard has moved up into that 3rd position there, looking like one of the stronger tracks for him here at that number 27. Justin Munseals cracked up into the top 5, and Andy Glazik started 2nd. He's actually fallen back to that 5th position, but he's got plenty of time, of course, a lot of time to make up as many positions as he can there. Still got some battles going on mid-pack here with the Rapolo Brothers Racing team. All of them right around each other here on the track. You've got the number 3, Mark Rapolo, the number 9, Trevor Rapolo, and the number 5 of Joseph Tice. They're all in a group right there, trying to make up some time here. This is one of those tracks where it's really easy to also get knocked up out of the groove and definitely break your momentum. It's all of the road courses are really rhythmatic tracks where once you get into a rhythm, you get out on your own. It's definitely it's a good feeling. And some of these drivers are already having a tough time making up positions because it's very easy to get held up here. You might be a little bit faster than the guy in front of you. However, there are not as many passing opportunities in the beginning part of the track as there is at the end, where you've got those long straightaways with the tight corners with the braking zones where you can outbrake people, make the passes there. Andrew Fayosh still trying to make up some time there behind the Upper Edge Media Chevy Camaro there of Ryan Dyson. Just a moment to talk about Upper Edge Media here. They came on board to sponsor this race, of course, one of the title sponsors for the league overall. We've got Crescent Moon Contracting bringing you this series specifically, and Upper Edge Media is working on rebranding itself for 2015, so definitely if you need a website, if you need any type of graphic design, logos made, even motorsports iRacing designs, head over there, give them a contact. Ryan Dyson there. Even on the UpperEdgeRacing.com website, there are links to head over to the Upper Edge Media website. So definitely, if you need any of that stuff, definitely these guys, Upper Edge Media, is great at what they do. Looking up back to the front there, you see Corey Hoover's already gotten over to almost a 2.5 second gap over our second place driver, Austin Hartenfels. These guys have been towards the top of the field all season long. However, unlike they had last season in the Truck Series, this time around in the B car, they've had a lot of bad luck. And they have not been quite as dominant. However, here at this road course, they've got a great road course program, and it looks to be pretty effective there. Now, these two drivers have actually broken apart 6 seconds to the third place driver. Justin Munseal currently running up in that third position. He's looking pretty strong. However, now with that big gap, he's not really running too much slower than our leaders out towards the front. However, it's just so hard. Once you get held up by a couple cars here, you've got a lot of ground to make up. And there's going to be pit stops that will come into play here. But as our in-race reporter Corey Hoover mentioned before the event, you got to take care of your stuff, and it'll take care of you. One of those famous NASCAR 2003 and NASCAR 2004 lines. So take care of your brakes, take care of your tires, take care of your body, and it's definitely going to take care of you here tonight, as we've already gone 4 laps and a half now, caution-free. Bradley Burke, once he cracked up into the top 10, the number 2 car has not been able to make up much more ground from there. He's got about 2 seconds to make up until he gets up to Andy Glazik, who was really struggling early on. He started up in second with a solid qualifying run, but the number 19 of Andy Glazik has a lot of ground to make up. He's actually been passed by Andrew Fayosh and Mark Murphy, as well as Ryan Dyson, who has actually cracked his way up into the top 5. Impressive start to the race for him, but we've got a group of cars here battling it out for these top positions right now. Almost a little bit of contact there, going almost 2 and 3 wide into turns number 1 and 2. Impressive move by Ryan Dyson. Andrew Fayosh gets loose there. He's going to collect that car. Ryan's going to have the preferred line going into this little corner right here. One of the corners where going too wide definitely slows you up. You lose almost a quarter of a second when you go too wide through there versus when you can really drive it in hard when you're only single file. But these drivers right now, the only real battle out on the track. Looking pretty impressive, though. These guys all running pretty good times. However, I really got to hand it off to Bradley Burke. He's running. He's the 3rd fastest car on the track right now. as we take a moment, we're going to hop on board with the number 2 of Bradley Burke here behind that group of cars. Just take a look at the input he's got on the wheel, and we're going to go silent real quick and take a listen to all the shifting that he has to do and all the times that he's got to work the throttle around this track. We're going to take one lap on board with Bradley Burke here. You are watching the CFI broadcast of the Upper Edge Racing Series here at Montreal. You've seen on your screen for the past few minutes a lot of calamity for some of these drivers, getting caught up with some of the slower traffic in these tight corners, and a lot of issues here for some of these drivers trying to get their wheels underneath them. Things are starting to shape up. You saw it on your screen briefly there. Austin Hartenfeld's there in second place. Had to slow down coming onto that final corner. It looks like he cut it just a little too sharp, and iRacing did not agree with that and gave him one of the slowdown penalties, and he had to slow that number 29 car down, and he lost almost 10 seconds. Actually, over 10 seconds to Corey Hoover, who is currently still up in the lead right now. Plenty of battling still mid-pack, as you've seen. Joseph Ties there, doing the best that he can to move up through the field, but he's really starting to fall back, as well as Ryan Dyson. Andy Glazik, after having some trouble there in the chicanes on this course, has really started to make up some time as well. He's moved up into that 7th position after almost falling out of the top 10 earlier on. As the current running order is now on your screen, you see Corey Hoover still up in the lead, Austin Hartenfeld's in second, Justin Munseel third, Mario Girard fourth, Mark Murphy fifth, Andrew Fayosh the third, in 6th position there, Andy Glazik 7th, Ryan Dyson 8th, Joseph Tice is in 9th position. Rounding out the top 10, you've got Mark Rapola. And then you'll see it cycle through the rest of the drivers out on the grid right now that have been racing around this tricky road course. Bruce Ackerman, the last car on the lead lap, with Bronson Stafford now 2 laps down after missing the grid at the start of this race. Corey Hoover still doing a great job out in the lead. Not much you can really say about it. He's been very consistent since the drop of the green flag, and he's been one of those drivers that hasn't had a single issue quite yet. Some of these drivers have caught down some lap down traffic, stuff like that. Corey Hoover has not had that problem, and as he goes around this course very gingerly there on that last corner, probably hearing about what happened to his teammate earlier on. Battle still ensuing there, with Mario Girard now being caught by Mark Murphy in the number 48 car. Mark's been very consistent over the past 10 laps, ever since he worked his way up into the top 5 and getting around Ryan Dyson as Ryan made the fall back through the field. Mario kind of fell back, and Mark Murphy also came forward. So very impressive right now out of the number 48 car as he tries to make his way up towards the front of the field. If we get a caution here, which is definitely not out of the question with these guys running their manual cautions here tonight, there's always a chance for a couple cars to get together, block the track for some of the cars out here, and that will bring out the caution. The Corvette will pull out onto the field, and then we will be all gathered back up for a chance for some of those drivers that might not have qualified quite as well as they hoped to get back out there and give it another shot. Oh, Andy Glazik with more issues here early on in this event, going off track very briefly there, losing a couple positions while doing it. Gonna pull up the replay there, going into one of the tight right-hand corners. Looks like that back end, we talked about it earlier, the brake bias in these cars might be a little bit too much geared towards the front. And as you burn off fuel, that back end naturally goes up into the air. And And what that can produce is a little bit of a loose condition getting down in the corners, almost as if the front end's just completely stuck. And you saw it going into the chicane right after, or the hairpin, excuse me, going after that. He had issues as well. So now that he's got that car all slid up and the tires superheated, he might be struggling a little bit out on the track. Battle still going on for second place. Justin Monseal and the number 25 car has really closed down on Austin Hartenfels, who's getting loose pretty much on what we just talked about. And we're going to have to see how it plays out. These tires seem to really be getting worn on these drivers that are really driving hard around this course. Our leader fell off of the pace, Corey Hoover there, and these two drivers behind him started to reel him back in, but it seems the past couple laps these two drivers started to battle, and that slowed them both down out on the racetrack. As we hop up into the blimp, take a look at the scenery around this track. We zoom in as these drivers go around that hairpin there. This is a corner where you get your cars slowed down to about 40 miles an hour. You got to get that car from about 150, 160 going down in that corner to 40, 45 and get a nice tight apex, or else you're going to struggle getting off. That wall will come up on your outside very quickly if you drive it in too hard. And we saw Austin have issues here in these final couple of corners, getting down on the final front stretch to come to the start-finish line earlier. He looked A-okay there. We mentioned Corey Hoover's been taking him quite gingerly, and we saw Austin Hartenfels after that issue. That time around, he took it very gingerly as well to make sure he doesn't get any more issues as he drives it off the track. Again, issues for Austin Hartenfels. Justin Monseal, not really sure where he's going to come back out, giving him lots of room, but troubles for Austin Hartenfels. He's going to get a slowdown penalty there as well. That's going to be a hard mistake for Austin to overcome. He's still given the slowdown penalty there, and as it finally looks to be cleared off of his screen, he goes around. Problems for Austin Hartenfels into the wall there. And that's going to be an issue as some of the cars coming around this corner here. We'll have to see if that is something that's going to stimulate the caution coming out. And the Chevrolet Corvette pace car is now rolling off of pit road. We officially have our first caution of the race. You see here, Corey Hoover's got plenty of time to catch up to that Corvette pace car who was just sitting down in turns 1 and 2. As we take another look at what happened to Austin Hartenfels there, he just looped it around there on that final part of the course. But luckily for the number 29, he got that car back around with, at the most, just a minor dent to the front end. But now these guys just finally getting towards the pace car that is about halfway down the straightaway here. Just patiently waiting for the rest of the field to catch up. As you see now Brad Pummel, the driver of the Chevrolet Corvette pace car. So the field's caught up now, and the pit road should be open this time by once they get down towards pit road. I expect pit stops were going to be coming pretty soon regardless, so here I do expect quite a few drivers to come down pit road. We're going to take this moment here as the field is under caution for the first time here today. We're going to step away from the screen. Shane Doherty will be back up in the booth, after having to update iRacing from today's earlier maintenance. We will be back really quick here on Checkered Flag Interactive live from Montreal for the Upper Edge Media 200. Back live here in Montreal, we have an interesting development here. Corey Hoover, our leader, the number 33 car, choosing to stay out. Earlier on, he still will have to make a pit stop. I'm pretty sure there's just simply no doubt about it. Fuel will only last you about 30 laps here, I do believe, Shane. And with that being said, the tires aren't going to last him that long. He had fallen off about a second off of the pace since the drop of the green flag, and some of these drivers that were around him were running competitive times, and now they're going to be on newer tires.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be on newer tires, and they're going to have more fuel in the tank, and I think that's important. I think Corey's trying to play some strategy here, but he's the only car to stay out on the lead lap, so that's going to be unfortunate for him, possibly, unless he somehow is able to hold these guys off, because there's going to be a lot of fast guys behind him with some fresh new tires and new fuel.
Now with these guys running custom cautions here, I do believe they will be putting up in the chat when they are one to go. And that should be coming up momentarily, if not already. Shane?
Yeah, I believe they just did a wave by. So, yes, that does. Stuart Lebowsko did get waved by the pace car, so that is a good indication, or at least a hint, that we are probably going to see the one to go here. And it looks like they're actually going to give the 2 to go at the line, so they're going to have 2 laps under caution here before we go green instead of just the 1.
While we still have a moment to talk about it, this track is a brutal place to run pace laps at for sure, Shane.
Yeah, that's usually the case for most road courses, but this especially here in Montreal is a long, long course. I mean, your lapping time's almost into the 2-second or 2-minute bracket, I should say. Pole tonight was a 1:42, so definitely just go ahead and add some caution laps to that, and that could be almost 10-15 minutes just under 1 caution.
But here you see it, we're getting the 1 to green now. If there was lights on that pace car, they would be coming off. Field's getting doubled up. And one of the rarities, usually when the pace car is out on the field, you can't actually make contact with it. You never know what you're going to see here, and on iRacing you can see it all. It'd be pretty interesting to see if we see someone actually hit the pace car here tonight. I doubt it's going to happen, but you never know.
I mean, if they want to be perfect, the little movie pun there, but yeah, it's really anything can happen. But obviously, like you said, Steve, different kind of way of racing tonight, I should say. They handling the officiating a little bit differently, obviously, because iRacing does eliminate that option to have full course cautions at road courses, or at least in the control of what the league wants. So they're going to have to kind of wing it tonight, and that's how they're doing it. And I don't see a problem with it. It doesn't affect the race in any shape or form, and it's just how it would be if it was an actual event run in real life. So kudos to Upper Edge for putting that together and allowing this race to be as realistic as possible.
Just would like to remind you guys that this race is brought to you by Upper Edge Media. Head over upperedgemedia.ca. While we have a hot second here before we get the green flag, we've pulled up Corey Hoover up into the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, you've had a very solid beginning run here. You didn't choose to take tires here on this first caution. What do you think's gonna be a factor? Do you think you'll be okay hanging with the guys that were on new tires? Your times haven't dropped off drastically, but tire wear definitely it cliffs at one point, and those right rears go away quite quickly.
Yeah, I haven't been spinning the tires. Trying to save the tires all I can. My thinking was if I were gonna pit, I would still be one or a couple laps short on fuel, so I'm still waiting to get to my lap to pit. Once I get to there, I should be good to go to the end. While the others, they might have to make another stop.
Alright, well here on this first custom restart basically behind that pace car. We joked about it very briefly there last night on CFI. We saw camping. Tonight, do you think we'll see anyone hit the pace car?
I sure hope not. We'll figure out. We'll find out.
Alright, we wish you luck here on this restart.
All right, thank you.
That was the voice of the number 33, our leader here today, leading all of the laps so far, Corey Hoover.
Guess another important note is that the cause for the caution, Austin Hartenfels, is back in 13th. That car is essentially fine, and he's going to have to make up some ground here, but he definitely still has a very capable race car underneath him there, and plenty of time to make it up, only working lap 18 at the moment, so of 45. So obviously Austin's going to be someone to watch here as the pace car pulls off, or pulls straight, I should say, and the cars get ready to get onto the front straightaway, and the green flag will fly this time.
As we wait for the field to get the green flag, he's got the flag in his hand. Green flag is in the air. We are racing once again here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
And a little interesting development there on the front row. Instead of Corey Hoover spinning his tires, it was Justin Munseel missing a shift, apparently he reported on the radio. That's going to allow Mario Gerard to slide into the second position. He's got fresh tires and fuel, and he's got a chance to maybe take over the lead here with those fresh tires against Corey Hoover. But we'll see who's got the more power.
Man, Shane, just taking a look right now at what Austin Hartenfels has to deal with. He's stuck in the mid-pack, which involves working around some of the traffic that's not quite as fast as he almost knocks Finlayson in the number 32 into that outside retainer wall. Things getting very close here as he works through the field. He's already made a few passes. A slight tap to the back bumper of Mark Rapolo, and he's going to dive to his right side there going into this corner. He will have the preferred line.
Yeah, good overtake there. Used a nice passing zone to get around the 3 car, and that is going to allow Mark Rapolo to slide back a spot, and Austin's going to have plenty of cars in front of him, but that's definitely one spot down.
As you see Ryan Dyson battling side by side in front of him with Dalton Alexander now cracking his way up into the top 10. That number 1 car out here looking strong so far early on in this event. And now that he's cracked up into the top 10, we'll have to see what he's able to do. Developing story throughout the day. Dalton Alexander is one of the drivers that's been having issues with his USB and wheel today, and unfortunately earlier on his pedals decided to stop working on him. Team owner here, we worked on it for about an hour and a half and it did not get fixed, so we decided plug in the Xbox controller and give it a shot, and it's working quite well out here for him now. He's got a little bit of right side damage, but could be quite worse.
Yeah, I'd say he's doing a pretty impressive job there, considering the circumstances for tonight. He's one of those guys who just happens to peek around at the end of the race, and he'll give up a spot there to Ryan, and now Austin slides through to grab another spot. So kind of a remarkable effort that Dalton's even running out there tonight, considering those situations, and he's doing a nice job out there, but plenty of ways to go here.
Looking back up towards the front of the field, Corey Hoover's been able to maintain the lead, not pulling away like he did on that first run from Justin Munseel in second place there, or Mario Gerard, who's now got Mark Murphy breathing down his back bumper once again. Mark Murphy has been strong so far here today. Very impressive start of the race for these drivers as we're starting to approach halfway here. The thought has to be going through their minds that it's time to maybe think about they will not make it on the fuel from this point. They're going to have to think of a little bit of a strategy here to make their way to the finish.
Yeah, I really think it's impressive. Corey is able to hold off Justin Munseel and the rest of the bunch behind him as he's getting really sideways there, and he has to overcorrect the car slightly, and that's going to allow Justin Munseel to take the lead. That was a huge moment that could have been even worse for Corey, and that is it's good salvage.
Pulling up the replay there on your screen, going into these final corners, it's definitely those corners you got to watch out for as we go up into the chopper. You see that front brake bias. It's what I mentioned earlier. Definitely thinking it might be unsettling the car. Beautiful save, though, by that number 33.
Yeah, I think he's kind of heated up those rear tires, and that's what you talk about on a road course. Instead of the right sides and the left sides, you talk about the front oval all the time, but he is still running out there and doing a nice job. So Corey's just going to have to get back into a rhythm here and see if he can actually try and reel in Justin Mansell again.
Of course, on those older tires, it will not be the easiest thing to do. And within the next, probably the next 10 to 15 laps, Corey's going to have to come down at some point and head down pit road and get some fuel in that car. As we just continue to watch here towards the front of the field, Corey Hoover actually starting to lose a little more time to our leader. But looking back, we've almost got some 3 wide Austin Hartenfels. We didn't talk about him for the past couple laps. You see him there working not only on his teammate, but the number 60 of Elaine Krasinski there. He's going to make one pass. He's going to dive in there. Elaine's going to look back on the right side. This could be interesting. They get bottled up there. That was very close in a tense situation. Austin coming close to that point where you almost got to think he's going to get that slowdown penalty again, cutting those curbs.
Now he's hot in the tail of his teammate Ryan Dyson, but yeah, they cut it close there. Got a severe case of curb hop, but he was able to gather it back up, and he's got the pace to be in the top 5. He's just got to get that track position back, and if we get a long run here, he's probably going to have to just take it to each competitor in front of him one by one, and right now it looks like he's getting held up by his teammate Ryan Dyson a little bit.
Now, something you might see from some of these drivers, while none of them can make it on fuel in Austin's position, at least everyone knows Corey Hoover's going to have to take tires on his next stop. And even though he's not the leader right now, he's been the faster car out when he does have fresh tires. You know he will take tires on this next stop. You have to think maybe these drivers that need to make up time choose to take either 2 or no tires on this next stop.
And another thing is that they're actually looking at this experiment that Corey's trying to run here. He's trying to just run the fuel out without taking tires. He's keeping pace, which is a good indication that maybe some people are going to try and come down pit road. And you're right, Steve. Maybe just take fuel and don't completely take 4 tires, and maybe they think they're going to be able to stay on pace as well, because Corey out there, he's pretty much running what he was running before. It's just Justin is just a little bit faster right now, and that's why he's in the lead.
Battle still going on here for 3rd place. Mario Girard trying to hold off the number 48 of Mark Murphy there. Mark's been breathing down his neck for quite some time. Andrew Fayosh, though, the number 77, he's moved his way up in 6th place, and he's got a chance to make his way up into the top. Whoa, very loose condition there for the number 27. Beautiful save you saw there, Shane.
Yeah, that was a really good save by Mario. He doesn't normally have to make some of those saves, but he does a nice job there. He's really, I guess, putting on a nice show here tonight, just trying to be one of those guys who, we see run decent in the oval side, but when he gets to the road course side, that's really where he shows, and that's where his strength is in this series. And he's getting a chance to show that tonight, running 3rd at the moment. We saw him possibly challenging for the lead early on, but it looks like he has a better short run car at the moment. Maybe just doesn't have the thing hooked up on the long run compared to your leaders.
Take a peek here. Austin Hartenfels worked his way up into the top 8. He's got his teammate again in front of them. RCA Racing running 7th, 8th, and 9th there. Austin's got to make his way around his teammate Andy Glazik, who started up in 2nd place to start this race. He's really fallen back.
Yeah, he's kind of fallen back there. He is 7th and about to be 8th here. Here comes Austin to the inside. Teammate going to let another teammate go, but yeah, Andy's just trying to stay in the top 10 here, get a solid run today, and he's another one of those guys that looks like he had a better short run car and was able to hit a good lap in Q, or qualifying, I should say, and now just kind of struggling in the longer run.
Some battling going on right outside the top 10. Dalton Alexander starting to get reeled in by the number 3 Marco Polo. The number 2 of Bradley Burke, who we watched earlier work his way up into the top 10. He found himself in a little bit of trouble there. That slowed him up. That's where he got that right side damage. These guys have started to close in on each other. Marco Polo there, the number 3. He's got Bradley Burke right behind him. as they head down the front straightaway. I've got a feeling Bradley Burke's got a pretty fast car, but that damage is hurting him just a little bit.
Interesting development here. Andrew Fash III is going to give up a top 5 spot, and he will come down for fuel only. It's a splash and go, no tires for the 77 car. Could we see this be the final stop for Andrew Fash?
Well, this is the point where they're going to be good to go for the number 77, Andrew Fash, there with a 5.5 second stop. He will fall back to 16th position there behind Chris Scala, the number 88. We'll have to see how it plays out, but I've got a feeling he should be able to make up a lot of positions right here, and Corey Hoover will have to come down. He will have to get tires, and he's fallen off 3 seconds from Justin Munseal, who's out in the lead right now.
That's what I really like about that pit call from Andrew Fash III. Spending as least amount of time on pit road as you can. You don't want to be sitting still here under green, and he exactly does that. Only 5.5 seconds worth of fuel should be enough to get him to the finish, and now he can go out there, hit his marks in relatively clean track, and just make up some time here. And this could be a nice move to maybe not win him the race, but get him a nice finish.
We hop on board with the number 25, our leader, Justin Munseal. You see him going over the curves there. Pretty good hit on those cars, and actually in some of the cars on the service on iRacing.com, you can damage your car by hitting those curbs. Luckily, the NASCARs are pretty tough to beat up going over the curbs, and he's running very consistent right now. That number 25, not someone we really thought would necessarily be out in the front like he is right now. He didn't really have the strongest car that first run, but here he is out in front and pulling away from Corey Hoover.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, runs a limited schedule in the Upper Edge Sportsman Series, but when he runs, he usually runs really good, and he's out there shining tonight as your leader. I started 5th, so not particularly the qualifying effort that he might be used to, at least. He might want top 3 there, but he's up there in 1st and doing a nice job and pulling away from Corey Hoover, despite Corey being on those older tires.
Change for position on the racetrack now. The number 48, move him up a spot. He is now sitting in 3rd position after he went around Mario Girard there. The number 27, still, even with that 4th place position, he's looking very strong, but Austin Hartenfels has now worked his way up into the top 5. So he's starting to breathe down towards these leaders.
Yeah, he's about 12.5 seconds back. He's got about 5 or so seconds until he catches the next car in front of him for position, which is the 27 of Mario Girard. And of course, right in front of him, you just saw it, Mark Murphy. So that is your top, around your top 3.
Some more racing there on your screen. The number 60, Elaine Krasinski working around Andy Glazik there. The number 19 really seeming to struggle now. He's got some damage again on that car. Both these drivers do. Very unfortunate start of the race for Andy Glazik, someone we thought was going to be up in the front. A lot of these drivers really thought he was going to be one of the drivers to beat. I know I met with the drivers over the 2-week holiday break there, and that was the common consensus there, as Corey Hoover's on pit road coming off now, or into his pit stop. He's got that right side up, and I do predict to see that left side go off as well. And he will get 4 tires and fuel here, and he will be back on his way. We'll have to see where he comes out in relative to Andrew Fash, who was actually cycled through in front of him now.
Yeah, there comes Corey flying out. Andrew's right in front of him, and Corey's going to put the hammer down right here, try and get around him while he's got those fresh tires, and he'll look low. And he's going to try and outbrake him there, and it looks like he's going to shut the door there. So this might be the battle for the win right here, unless Justin Munseal brings his car down to pit road soon. These two are pretty much battling because they are the last cars right now that can make it on fuel because they no longer have to pit.
This is one of those situations for Munseal. If he chooses to come down pit road and we get one of those cautions like we saw earlier, we've got a lot of drivers out on the track. Tires starting to get worn, cars getting loose into the corners here, we might still see a caution. You stay out, these guys get trapped behind, they might even choose to come down pit road again. It's just Corey Hoover, he experimented there, staying out with older tires. It didn't work out so well for him. And now that he's come back down pit road, he's finding himself battling with a driver that was almost 10 seconds back on that first run. and we'll have to see how long that battle lasts and see what happens once he gets around him there as they go side by side. Corey Hoover will have the inside line going down the straightaway, but it's not going to be easy to make that pass as Andrew Fash is going to stay in the throttle there, and they're going to go drag racing down straightaway. But with that inside line, Corey will get that, but looks like the 77 will think about making the crossover, but not quite fast enough.
Looks like we have a caution on the speedway, trying to identify where that is.
The number 20 of Bronson Stafford went around there going into these tight left-handers. Take a look and see what happened to him. You see the replay up on your screen. He's working his way through the first corners of the circuit. His car's beat up, and he's been having a rough night there in the number 20, the Home Depot Husky Mustang there. And you see him just gingerly working around the corners. He's got some toe end damage, it looks like, on that car. And as he works his way around these corners towards that car, that corner just starts to get loose and really slams it into that wall, and he will go around, block the track, and that will be worth a caution.
And now this puts all that possible strategy away at this point. Corey Hoover, we know he's going to stay out. Andrew Fash, the third, should stay out as well. But everyone else will come down pit road. But the next question surrounding that situation is, do you take tires at this point? Justin Munseal, he is your leader. But do we see guys behind him take tires? And does Justin even consider taking tires? Because we know Corey just took 4 tires. And Andrew Fash, the third, I believe, has the same type of tires, or the same amount of wear on his tires compared to Justin Munseal. So Corey Hoover right now, he's looking pretty good here once we get the restart.
We will have to see as they start to get grouped up. They will be making their way towards the pace car, and we'll have to see when things open up the next time by as the pace car gets in front of them there. We'll have to see if pit road is open this time by. And it does not appear pit road is open. They will follow around the pace car for one lap here, and then pit road should open up. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. Do not go away. Shane Doherty, Steve Bonesteel up in the booth every Thursday night here, bringing you the Upper Edge Racing CMC Sportsman Series. We will be back in just a moment. Welcome back here live at the track here. These drivers under caution here. Pace car allowing these guys to head down pit road this time by. We've got just over 15 laps left on the board. Plenty of racing here. When we go back green, we should have roughly 15 laps. It's going to be set up to be a very interesting rest of the race here. A lot of the front drivers should be coming down pit road here. None of them can really make it to the end, aside from Corey Hoover and Andrew Fayash, who both pit under either the last green flag run. Take a moment really quick. If you've got a league race that needs to be broadcasted or a series that needs to be broadcasted, we've got specials for you Monday, Saturday, and Friday nights. And any time actually during Saturday. I know this weekend at 8 o'clock in the morning we have a broadcast there, so exciting. Plenty of flexibility here. If you need a broadcast done, contact Checkered Flag Interactive. Look them up on Facebook. Just type in Checkered Flag Interactive, send them a message, give them a wall post, and they will hook you up with a great deal. Save hundreds of dollars compared to the competition here. There we have it. The entire front of the field coming down pit road just as we thought. No surprises. We'll have to see who decides to stay out and who decides to take two tires.
Yeah, Austin Hartenfeld is running third. He's got a fast car. See what he does on this pit stop. And just as we expected, Corey Hoover is going to be the leader and Andrew Fayash the third. Those two stay out and they will resume first and second. And it looks like 4 tires in fuel for everyone on pit road. Justin Munseal is going to come out first. He will be third on the restart. And correction, that's Austin Hartenfels. And it looks like he is going to come out second, so he will line up fourth on this restart. And Mark Murphy also coming out there in the third spot off pit road.
Very interesting how things have worked their way through here in Montreal here today. For the Upper Edge Media 200, just really quick, Upper Edge Media is rebranding for 2015, getting things kicked off very strong over the next couple of weeks. A complete redesign. For the past few months, they've focused on motorsports and iRacing designs only, but in the past, they've built websites, and very good websites, for multiple of uses. And coming in 2015, they head back to the grassroots, I guess you could call it, as well as still working on motorsports designs. Contact Upper Edge Media, look them up on the web, head over to the Facebook page and contact Ryan Dyson. He will hook you up with some great content. While we've got a moment here, we've pulled up Bronson Stafford. We caught up to him on pit road. He had a pretty tough run there that last part of the bit, and his car's still sitting on pit road. You calling it a night, Bronson?
No, I got about 20 seconds left on repairs here. I just messed up the left front fender just a little bit.
Really seemed to be struggling there that last run. You just really couldn't catch yourself a break. You got caught in traffic multiple times, and that really seemed to throw you off of the rhythm here. How has been working around some of the other traffic on the track affected how your car's been handling?
I haven't been too great in road courses in stock cars anyway, so that's kind of thrown me off, but I kind of hope to do better. I mean, the other cars thing is kind of complicated because the first run I was running like 10th or 11th in line, and I was kind of being able to hold my spot there, but since the yellow, I'm at the back, and it just throws you off a little bit. I don't know, I'm not very good at road courses in a heavy car like this, so...
Yeah, like you said, these cars are a lot heavier than that Corvette pace car you see there pacing the field right now. That Corvette pace car could probably I think that pace car could definitely run faster laps than this NASCAR could around here. By far.
Oh yeah, you give that Corvette GT3 the opportunity, that thing will probably clear us by 20 seconds a lap, so...
Alright, so unfortunately you do have a beat-up car. You're a couple laps down, but we wish you the best of luck, and definitely stick it out. It's going to get interesting here now that we've got this field all bunched up once again for a late race restart.
Yeah, definitely.
Good luck. And that was Bronson Stafford, driver of the Home Depot Ford Mustang.
Tell you what though, Steve, now it's for one lap until we get the green flag here. This is going to be very interesting here. You've got Corey Hoover's been fast, led the early part of the race. He's on a little bit older tires, but still relatively fresh tires out there in first. Andrew Fayash III is all of a sudden at the disadvantage. He has the oldest tires in the field. He's going to restart second. Justin Mansell, who was leading under that last run, is going to restart third with 4 fresh tires and fuel. And then obviously everyone behind him has 4 fresh tires and fuel as well. So this start could get pretty epic, to say the least, at this point. We're going to see who really wants it more here in the closing stages.
It's really definitely a big morale boost to come away with a win here, and I'm sure a lot of these drivers definitely in need of a win. As we look at the point standings right now, Andrew Fayash is our points leader from BBH Motorsports. Austin Hartenfeld in second, 13 points behind. Corey Hoover, 17 points behind the leader there. Andy Glazik, fourth. Ryan Dyson, fifth in the standings right now. Joseph Tice falling out of the top 5 after struggling the past couple of weeks. Sean Powell not in this race, so he will take a hit in the standings. Mark Murphy, 8th. He's sitting up there towards the top 5, so he's got a solid night lined up. Mark Murphy, like I said, there in 8th. Trevor Rapolo, 9th. And then Mike Tellier rounding out the top 10, 177 points out from Andrew Fayash, who's leading the point standings. Another chance here to mention the Upper Edge Racing League here on iRacing's kicking off another season of super late models here in the upcoming week or so. That's going to be exciting to see how it played out. It was a very successful inaugural season last time around, so while we can update you guys on that as we cover these guys here in the B car throughout the season.
Yeah, excited to see that series getting underway. Obviously, Justin Tremblay tore it up in the first season, so we'll see if he returns for that second season, along with many others going to be getting into that super late model there. Could possibly see them in this series next year, if that is the case and how they decide to do that. But nonetheless, getting ready to get the green flag here for the restart of this race.
The pace car stays going straight, as you said that last time by, and now the green flag will be up into the air, and as the leader sees the green flag, we are racing once again here at Montreal. The field goes diving down into turns 1 and 2.
Looks to be clean a little bit. Justin Mansell gets a tap, turns Fayash right in front of the field. At the field, as people got to go through. Caution is out. A chain reaction, just as we've seen here before, happens there. And they are still wrecking out of that turn.
Replay up on your screen. Andrew Fayash gets turned around there. He starts that chain reaction where more cars get involved from behind. They just start piling in. Ryan Dyson cuts through the corner, ends up hitting his teammate there. And believe it or not, the driver that ended up, I guess, best well off that was involved in the incident was Andrew Fayash.
I guess you could say, because, yeah, Ryan Dyson guns it and, gets into the teammate of Austin Hartenfels. They nailed each other. There's not a lot of grip in the grass, but yeah, and Fayash is going to have a little bit of right rear or left rear fender damage, but Ryan Dyson, Austin Hartenfels, those two hit pretty hard there.
So here, this is exactly what we were talking about there, that points leader. There, Andrew Fayash getting turned around there. Definitely a big mistake, not even on his part, but just a bad situation. And now the number 29, Austin Hartenfels, after doing a great job working his way through the field, you see both sides of that car now beat up. First from turning the number 77, and then by getting slammed again by his teammate.
We see that all the time at this track, especially late in the race on the restart. Someone dives it in there a little bit more severe than the guy behind him, or the guy in front of him, I should say, and gets into him, and then the cars slide forward because they can't stop, and then you get guys like that where they have nowhere to go, and then we see almost a huge pile up there. But in case one car gets turned around, a couple of cars hit each other trying to avoid it, and that creates a decent amount of wreckage. But looks like everyone's going to be okay, cosmetic damage, and we'll see probably Andrew Fayash the third down pit road here.
And now, while we have another chance here, we're going to head over to another quick commercial break. Do not go away. Checkered Flag Interactive will be back when we're ready to get the green flag. Welcome back live here on Checkered Flag Interactive as we are still under caution. Now 33 laps into this race at Montreal, the Upper Edge Media 200. Corey Hoover, after a very lucky chain of events, has been able to work his way back up to the lead there. His closest competition really has some damage there. Justin Munseal has a little bit of a ding on that right front fender. That might play into factor as he runs around this course. But Austin Hartenfels also has a bit of damage. Again, we got another chance here to speak with Corey Hoover as he paces behind that Chevy Corvette pace car. It's Bone Steel up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Steve.
Well, take us through that restart there. What did you see going on around you?
Well, first off, I guess I got a golden horseshoe stuck somewhere because that caution came like the perfect timing. Without that, that might have cost me the race. But yeah, on that restart, there's a bunch of chaos in my mirror, really. I'd like to thank Andrew for not running me over there. I know he locked up the brakes and got hit, so props to him.
Well, there you've worked your way back up to the lead, and we were talking about it actually right before the caution came out earlier, where we mentioned it's one of those times where those drivers have to decide whether or not they come down pit road and then risk getting a caution, or do they stay out and wait for the caution to come out. And it just so happened right after we mentioned that the caution came out, and luckily for you, you're able to get back out on track and get up to the top 5, and now you're back in the lead.
Yeah, like I said, that golden horseshoe.
Coming into this next restart, it's probably going to be one of the very last ones we have here tonight. Do you think we'll see some of the same bumping and banging we saw in that last restart here now that it's getting down to the final almost 10 laps?
I'm sure people get impatient, although you never know. It's been a relatively good race, not too many big wrecks. Everyone's still in it, I believe. It's just up to the drivers. They just got to use their head getting into that first corner.
Alright, Corey, really quick before we head off to the green, who do you have to thank for bringing this car to the track here today?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Got to thank Kinetic Gasket for stepping aboard this year again. Hunt Brothers Pizza and Armor Foods Splash Wash products. Got to go out and get a jug of washer fluid. No bad weather's coming, so get your windshield washer fluid in your car.
Alright, good stuff. Good luck here on this restart.
Alright, thanks, bud.
Shane, what are your thoughts here going into this restart? What could very well be either the final restart or one of the final restarts?
Well, it'll be definitely interesting, but I don't doubt we don't possibly see what we saw there under that restart again. Maybe not up front. I think they're going to kind of try and take it easy up here in the top 5, but business is picking up, and anytime you get later into the race, there's a chance to possibly have an accident there going into turn number 1. We thought it would be a factor early on. Now it is a factor, and I don't doubt it's going to be here on this restart. But Corey Hoover, your leader, can he hold him off is the big story.
And another thing you want to look at is tonight, one of those days where you might see some of the underdogs benefit from some of the big names racing so hard. I mean, Mario Girard there sitting the 3rd row back. He has not had the most stellar season. Even Mark Murphy in that number 48 on the outside 2nd row. He has had a moderately average season, but now he has a chance to make it a winning night.
Also, Dalton Alexander there running an 8th. We talked about him earlier. Steve having to kind of scrap for equipment here tonight. He's doing a good job as well. Pace car pulls off. Corey Hoover going to be the leader on this restart.
Green flag is up in the air. Our leader in the field is away.
That time Corey takes a nice defensive line to turn number 1 just in case somebody were to try and dive it in there. So clean through turns 1 and 2 is in the field and looks to be sorting themselves out.
A little bit loose there for some of those drivers as they work their way through these first couple corners. Very big stack up there. Mario getting pinched by Ryan Dyson going through that not the hairpin, the chicanes, and going through the S turns here, working into this left-hand corner, looking from at the reversed angle. These drivers have a lot of switching to do, and it's not one of those road courses where you make a lot of the same turns. You're turning pretty much equally on both sides of the tires.
Corey Hoover starting to pull away from Justin Mansell, but here comes Austin Hartenfels, a nice and easy dive in, to say the least, in a very sarcastic voice, as he comes to the inside and makes the pass. And he had to dive that thing all the way in just to get it to stick, and he's trying to make the pass. He's almost done, but wow, he is coming in a hurry with both fenders banged up.
Mario Gerard falling out of that top 5. Now the first time all race long we've really seen him out of that top 5. Now these drivers going up over that curb. A lot of these drivers starting to take that curb a lot harder here coming off those final corners.
See a problem for Justin Mansell. He lost about 2 seconds there and had a problem, but starting to possibly report some problems with Andrew Fayas III. He's way back in 16th. Remember, he did have that incident there, and now I think he got a slowdown penalty perhaps because he had to give up a lot of time down the front straightaway. So not good for your point leader, Andrew Fayas III, and this could be a huge night in the point standings.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see some people moving all over right now, but this battle for 4th, Justin Mansell, now that he's fallen out of place, Austin Hartenfels is in 2nd place, Mark Murphy 3rd. Justin's got the number 28 of Ryan Dyson and number 27 Mario Gerard right behind him, and they're starting to chase him down. We'll have to see if he can pull back away from these guys.
We always see these two guys. Saw it season 1 of the Truck Series, especially when it came down to the road courses. Corey Hoover, Austin Hartenfels, don't even have to think twice to see those two out front at the closing laps of this race. Doesn't matter where you go on the road courses, they are the dominant force at the conclusion of the race. And Austin Hartenfels with a beaten and mangled up car trying to track down his RCA Racing teammate Corey Hoover, who has been dominant throughout most of the race. Let's see who can take home that victory, but so far Corey Hoover's got the edge.
He's just got under a second and a half over his teammate right now, and as they come towards the line, that gap starting to extend a little bit. Now Shane, one slight mistake by either driver could completely change how it starts to shape out here. Got another battle.
We've seen Corey.
The number 48, Mark Murphy, goes around on the final corner. Pulling up the replay there for you.
Looks like he does exactly what I was just about to say there. Corey Hoover almost spun it off turn, or the last turn there before, but now Mark Murphy goes around.
Unfortunate break for that number 48. He's going to fall outside the top 10.
Well, thankfully, though, he still has a car, so if we get a caution, he has a chance to get some more spots back. But yeah, that last turn proving to be a little bit of trouble for some guys, especially later in the run. As I said there, Corey Hoover almost lost it a couple times on the older tires, and that's definitely a tough turn. If you take aggressively, you're going to lose your chance to possibly be able to have a fast race car. You wear up those right rear tires, or those rear tires, I should say. The car doesn't respond well, but Corey Hoover, everything's going good up front for him now, almost a 2-second lead on his teammate Austin Hartenfels.
And now you see a Mark Murphy already working on teammate there, the number 9 of Trevor Polo. not looking like he's going to be able to make the pass quite yet, but they're both going to break loose. He's going to look to the left side. It's not going to quite happen, but he's got that tight hairpin coming up. He's got the chance to outbreak him. He's going to dive down to the inside, try to move in there, but it's not going to happen. Not quite yet, but the number 9 overshoots the exit of the corner. They're going to get side by side. Again, the number 9 will clear him going down the straightaway, but we've got more battles just in front of them. Andy Glazik leading Dalton Alexander and Bradley Burke. Looking back up to the front right now, the number 29, Austin Hartfell's really struggling right now to make up time. He's lost, that last lap, Corey Hoover put it down. He ran a 1:43 second lap. That is incredible. That is actually the fastest lap of the race, that 1:43.529. That is incredible pacing by our leader right now.
See, Dalton Alexander got into the tire barrier there, had a slowdown penalty, then lost the car in the grass, but he is okay, I guess. And now he loses the car again a little bit, but he's going to lose some time there.
And we've got a 3-car battle there on your screen. Not only Mark Murphy trying to work around Trevor Rapolo, now to the number 77, Andrew Fayosh, after getting turned around just a single caution ago. He's trying to make his way back up to the top 10, that number 77. He is your points leader here in the CMC Sportsman Series. Battle still heating up for 5th place. Mario Gerard worked his way around the number 5 there, and now Joseph Tice trying to make his way back up into the 4th place after the chain of events there's really played into his hand. Ryan Dyson fell out of that top 5 after getting into a little bit of trouble in the earlier sections of the course, and now we've got 7 laps remaining here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and these drivers can taste it. The finish is coming quickly. One of the drivers we saw towards the front earlier, Bradley Burke in that number 2, getting loose there on this short straightaway to these right and then a left-hander, a quick S-turn here. He's got Mark Murphy looking on his back bumper to pick up another position to move up into 8th.
Looks like Mark's going to dive it down in there. They're going to make slight contact. No harm, no foul. Mark's going to try and put the power down, and he will, as Bradley Burke is a little sideways there and move Mark up another spot.
And now Andrew Fayosh has finally worked his way around Trevor Rapolo to break him back into the top 10. Now what he's got to do, he's got to chase down this Bradley Burke machine, who earlier we thought he was going to be a contender for a top 5. He found himself in trouble, and since then he has not been able to work his way back up to the lead, or even anywhere close to the lead, unfortunately. But speaking of the lead, it is now 4.5 seconds for Corey Hoover.
Yeah, Corey pretty much showing that he has the car to beat right down this final run. Justin Mansell, someone I thought was going to have a good chance to maybe challenge for that win, is 7 seconds off the pace at the moment, or off from the leader, so he is definitely struggling here on this run.
Just taking another look there, Andrew Fayosh now with 6 laps remaining in this race, trying to make up those positions frantically. Every single point does count, Shane.
Yeah, definitely. If he can get these next 2 cars in front of him, Bradley Burke, Mark Murphy, that'd move him up to 8th, and that would be terrible. I guess I'd say that'd be a couple points off what he would have gotten, but still, he is going to finish lower than he probably could have, and what he probably thinks he should have, so definitely going to be a tough night for Andrew Fayosh the third, but this is a lot better than finishing 16th.
And unfortunately for him, it's just one of the side effects here at Montreal. You can battle as clean as you want. curb hop, anything like that, and you could find yourself getting spun out, sent off into the grass, and unfortunately he drew the short end of the stick. But take a look at this, Shane. We've got a battle for the 5th position. Andy Glazik started on the 2nd spot, and he has really fallen off pace throughout the race, but here he is reappearing towards the top of the field.
Yeah, it's kind of like he was hibernating through the middle part of the race and just come out to play now, and not a bad call if I'd say myself, because he's up there in 6th trying to get this 5th position away from Joseph Thies. He is faster than him right now, and it's only going to be a matter of time, I'm going to say at this moment, before he gets around Joseph at this point. Good run for Andy. This could be a nice top 5.
As we go up into the blimp, just take a look at how much that number 19 outbreaks the number 5 going into that final corner here. That AMD Chevy Camaro working his way towards the front couple corners here. We'll see how the number 19 still up in the blimp. You see the number 5 sliding it through that corner. That's going to allow Andy Glazik there to really get up towards that back bumper, and it's only going to be a matter of time with 5 laps remaining here before we see this battle continue to heat up. And taking another peek back at that battle we have for 8th, 9th, and 10th position, Mark Murphy's trying to pull away from Bradley Burke, but Bradley Burke is not off the pace, and he's quick enough to even hold Andrew Fash behind him.
Yeah, I think Andrew's definitely getting held up a little bit here. He's just going to have to be patient, find his passing zone, and see if he can get by these guys before the end of the race.
Update here on Dalton Alexander. After getting that wall, he's fallen off the pace just a bit there. He's about 3 seconds out from Mark Rapolo. At this rate, he might be able to catch him there on the final lap, but he's really struggling here, still using that Xbox 360 controller. Definitely a downgrade from a Thrustmaster wheel, regardless of whatever it is. It's just definitely a statement of matter, just that he's come out here to race like he has. Joseph Tice there pulled away from Andy Glazik that last couple of laps there. And now that battle's really kind of cooled off, and now Ryan Dyson's looking towards his teammate there.
Yeah, I think Joseph kind of stepping it up there. Andy sliding a little bit late in the stages of this race, but still going to be a good finish for all those guys, solidly in the top 10, and going to be pretty good for their point standings.
We saw it last night where some of the drivers in the GT3 race at Daytona we covered. Definitely, there were some drivers that stood out in comparison to some of the others, and right now, Corey Hoover, one of those drivers that we see here who's been so consistent all night long, found himself in a bad position at one point, and he got lucky and was able to get back up towards the front, and aside from a little bit of bad luck and good luck, he's been all golden all night long. Looking back, Justin Munseal's going to have a little bit of competition here. In front of him, he's been chasing down Austin Hartenfels consistently over the past few laps, so we'll have to see if they get up to each other here, as we've only got 3 laps remaining here at the Upper Edge Media 200. These guys have been putting down some great lap times all race long, but things are starting to wind down. Joseph Tice off the track there. Going to be getting a slowdown penalty right in front of Andy Glazik and Ryan Dyson, making a very close call there.
Yeah, Ryan Dyson got by Andy Glazik and now got by Joseph Tice to move Ryan Dyson up to the 5th spot in the closing stages of this race. That is big for his points as well, and Andy Glazik, as we said, moves up there in the 6th.
Now Mark Murphy's got another chance to make up some more time here in these final little bits of the race. Looks like he's got Joseph Tice right in front of him, and the number 48's making some great lap times around here. We'll just have to see if they can battle it out, and maybe Mark can make up another position. Big battle on your screen right now. We've got about 6 cars within a gap of each other as the 19 got extremely loose catching that curb there.
And they're going to be side by side. Joseph Thies, Andy Glazik. Joseph's going to have the preferred line here into the turn. Andy's probably going to have to surrender the spot because of getting loose. Unless he can hold it on the outside here, and he will punch it down the final turn, and they're going to be side by side, but I think Joseph's got the edge.
Wow, we almost had 3 and 4 wide there as these guys are all racing it so close together they almost make contact there. Incredible racing here, mid-pack, nothing going on up front. Corey Hoover simply pulling away. 2 laps remaining, we've got an awesome battle, possibly the best one we've seen all year, mid-pack.
Yeah, definitely road course racing, and especially battling on road course racing, is some of the funnest stuff to watch on wheels. And everyone's side by side, or I should say single file now, trying to look. Here comes Mark Murphy, going to try and outbrake Joseph Thies. Not going to do. Joseph slides wide, though. That could present a chance. So these guys driving it as hard as they can, and sometimes a little bit too hard. And they're all in a line trying to hold each other off here in the second to last lap of the race.
See those drivers just go flying on by. One of the faster corners on this circuit. Coming up, Andy Glazik getting sideways. He's going to save it there, but almost lost it. And that's really unfortunate because we saw Andy Glazik working his way in the top 5 not too long ago. And now he's fallen off and he's lost 4 positions. We've got contact!
Oh, they both go around! Joseph Thies, Mark Murphy go around. What's this? There we go. They all sorted out, but Andrew Fayas III going to be the big beneficiary. He gets 2 spots, possibly 3, as he still is going to have a chance here in the final lap to get some more spots for the championship. Big implications there on that wreck.
And just like that, you can lose 4 or 5 positions here. Bradley Burke on his inside coming into this final corner. Tense battling, a little bit of contact there. Big checkup. Look at Fayosh looking his way up in there. Still nothing going on up front. Corey Hoover 6 seconds ahead of second place Austin Hartenfels.
And we are in the final lap of tonight's event, and Corey Hoover pulling away, and seems like everyone in the top 6 is going to keep their spots. The battle is for the 6th position, though. Bradley Burke trying to hold off Andrew Fayash III. Mark Murphy,
big time mistakes up
right
towards
there.
the front. Sorry to cut you off, Shane. The number 7, Bruce Ackerman, spun out in front of Austin Hartenfels and Justin Munseal. That will allow Justin to go around the number 29 and pick up the second place spot.
Yeah, it's definitely key information to know, and that is a unfortunate break there for Bruce Ackerman. He has been a couple laps down, though, so that was not poor position. Still watching this battle for 7th, though, and 6th, but Corey Hoover is getting ready to take the checkered flag sooner or later here as they are on the final lap.
Corey Hoover coming into the final corners as we watch this battle. Still Corey Hoover clearly pulling away still on this final little bit of the race. He's coming into the final corner now. Checkered flag will be up in the air. This battle still heating up. Fayosh getting into Bradley Burke there on the final corner, getting to the inside. It's going to be a drag race down the straightaway. What's going to happen in the final corner? Fayosh gets loose.
He gets really loose, almost threw it away, and now he's just going to have to hold off Mark Murphy, get the car to the finish. Bradley Burke looks like he's going to finish 6th, but pretty good comeback for Andrew Fayash III. Looks like he's going to get 7th out of this.
very tense battling still mid-pack as these guys come around that final corner. Things are going to sort itself out there. Corey Hoover gets the win, Justin Munseal second, Austin Hartenfels third, Mario Gerard, great finish, best one of the year, finishing up in fourth, Ryan Dyson fifth, as the results come up on your screen. A big award coming out from our books to Bradley Burke in that number 2 car. What a night
he
he
did a
had.
good job there holding off all those cars, and he comes home with a 6th place finish.
Unfortunate day for some of those drivers that came into this race looking for a good one, and you know, you really got to hand it out though to these drivers completing the entire race. All of the drivers that did finish, finishing in a road course event is always a pretty good sign that you guys ran a great race, and they did for sure. As we've got a second here, as Corey Hoover gets ready to burn it down, we're going to pull him up into the booth for a post-race interview. Corey Hoover, it's Steve Bonesteel and Shane Doherty up in the booth. Congratulations on the win as the drivers go by, giving you congratulatory taps on the door there.
Yeah, I got you. It's been a while. Road course racing's my personal favorite tracks to race. Just to get one finally means a lot.
Tell you what, it's been a long time. It's been a up and down season so far for your team here. The number 33, you ran a pretty much flawless race, as we said, all night long, but getting into victory lane here in Montreal, what does that mean for your momentum going into the upcoming races?
Yeah, hopefully that boosted my boosted the points position that I'm in. Had one screw up at Las Vegas, although I couldn't control that, but yeah, it means a lot. Montreal's always been a favorite track of mine, and especially racing with the people in here. Such great talent in this league too.
Well, here, on that final bit of the race, what were your thoughts? There were multiple incidents on track. Did you have any close calls on that final run there?
There was a couple cars that tried to pass the lap cars. They did a great job of getting out of the way, though. There was one moment I missed a shift getting into the chicane, and I wheel hopped it, and that's when Justin got past me. All around, it was a great race, though.
Well, here, as you've come around with this win, what are your thoughts on the upcoming race?
It's a home track for me, Richmond, actually. Never been too great there. Just got to get more practice in. Should be a good race there. People are good on the short tracks.
All right, really quick before we head off for a couple more interviews, who do you have to thank for getting the win here?
I gotta thank Upper Edge Media, Ryan's sponsor. He paints all the paint schemes, or most of them, for us. He does a great job, fantastic job on any of them. He paints cars for customers, so check out his website, upperedgemedia.ca, and contact him and see if you want a paint scheme.
All right, again, Corey Hoover, congratulations on the win here. It's a morale booster and a points booster.
Thanks, guys.
Don't you worry.
I do believe Mr. Shane Doherty's caught up with our second place finisher, Justin Munseal.
Yes, I have. Do you have a copy?
I got you, Shane.
Alright, Justin, good run out there tonight. Finished second, had a good run early, led some laps in the race. Describe your thoughts on tonight's spin.
I thought it was a blast. It was one of those races I don't get to do very often, but I had a good chance to win and led laps, like you said, and it was just overall pretty fun. Pretty fun little battle or what wasn't a battle between me and Austin at the end, but well, that's racing, I guess.
Describe what happened when you guys went into turn one there. What about 20 to go, and Andrew Fayas the third went around. You might have got a piece of it off the top of my head, but that was a pretty close accident right in front of you.
Oh, yeah. I was fine. I was going good, and all of a sudden I see a car hit me in the rear end, and I think that's what triggered Fayas spinning. I got damage on the right front, but that's about it, I believe.
Yeah, it definitely didn't affect the car. It looked like you were still able to go out there and finish very well in second spot. And anyone you want to thank for tonight's efforts?
I want to thank all the guys at EMM, thank the guy, all my sponsors and all that good stuff. And yeah, thanks for you guys for broadcasting this, like usual.
Absolutely, and that was Justin Munseal.
Alright, Shane, as another exciting event wraps up here for the Upper Edge Media 200, I'm going to pull Ryan Dyson up into the booth to give him a moment to talk a little bit about what Upper Edge Media and the Upper Edge Racing League is all about. Hey, Ryan Dyson, it's Bone Steel and Doherty up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you loud and clear.
Well, pretty solid finish there for the number 28 crew, coming away with 5th position, but you're up in the booth now. You've got a second to talk about Upper Edge Media and what 2015 has an outlook for that group over there.
Well, first off, let me start with the race. That was awesome. I was so heartbroken when I got that black flag with about 7 laps to go, and I fought back for that top 5 because I knew I needed to bounce back after Pocono. But Upper Edge Media is looking real good for 2015. We're going back to a full media source, media solutions firm, so that should be a lot of fun. Going to do web development and graphic design, branding and everything again, not just iRacing paint schemes. We'll still be doing iRacing schemes and stuff, but I figured it was time to bring everything back out and go for it full again. Hopefully bringing in some extra staff and stuff even to get a lot of work done.
Alright, good stuff. What are your thoughts coming up on these final couple races, not final couple races, the next races coming up here to wrap up the start of the 2015 year?
Well, I ended 2014 off really